Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds. It's Friday. Thank the good Lord. The Cardinals got a real nice win yesterday, I thought.
How about that? In watching them play throughout the spring and watching them play in person on Monday here in town, I really didn't feel like the Cardinals had that kind of offense. And they probably don't, Mike, in all honesty. But it's baseball. Interesting things can happen. Cardinals trailed the Tampa Bay Rays 7-1 in the sixth inning. Tampa Bay scored 6 runs in the sixth inning to break a tie. Cardinals come back and score 8 runs. What is this? Cardinals won the game 9-7. Again, there's so many variables involved, including matchups and the game of baseball, the rhythm it comes into, and you don't know how good Tampa Bay is. We do know how good St. Louis is, and while they came up with that big win, and it's great, and you can celebrate opening day win and all that sort of thing, baseball is a game of consistency over 162 games. Well, in the Cardinals' case, it'll be 161 now because they do have a win. But the fact is, can you consistently pull off winning baseball? And there's very much doubt that they can, but we'll see. Cardinals beat the Rays 9-7 in the opener. Take today off and then play tomorrow and Sunday.
Nice weekend in St. Louis for those games. I wonder... is for the, over the first half of the game, the Rays are just got their foot on the throat of St. Louis, and I wonder how many people stayed around Busch to see that.
Well, they had a crowd of 46,000 is what they announced, and, these are good fans and all that, and it was a very, very nice day.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely felt like June yesterday. Royals get their season kicked off tonight in Atlanta.
They do. They play at Truist Park, which is, in all fairness, a little bit outside the city of Atlanta, but that's the home of the Braves, a very, very nice stadium. The Braves send the veteran Chris Sale, 37-year-old lefty, to the hill. This is Sale's, get this, folks, this is how long he's been around. This is his 7th opening day assignment and his 2nd straight for the Braves. Now, the Royals have Cole Ragenscorn. Of course, he had I thought a really good year. His record wouldn't show it, 3-3, and a 4.67 ERA and 13 starts, but hey, Reagans can pitch, and he's a very big addition to that Royals staff. So that'll be the opening game tonight in Atlanta for the Kansas City Royals. Then they come home and have their home opener next week against the Minnesota Twins.
I just saw a highlight of when Burleson hit that home run yesterday in St. Louis, and they stuck around. That place is still full in the top of the 6th. So good job, Cardinals Nation. Sorry to switch gears on you that way. I just wanted to make a note. Missouri State Bears and the Panthers are both on the field this weekend. When and where?
The Bears will play in Dallas, Texas against Dallas Baptist. That's an old Missouri Valley Conference rivalry. Dallas Baptist is now in Conference USA, obviously, but for only 1 year. They leave after this season and go to the Pac-12. Anyway, the Bears play Dallas Baptist tonight, and then Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon, Drury goes on the road to Jefferson City, and they will play the Lincoln Blue Tigers in a 4-game series coming up this weekend. Drury needs to win. They started out well. They have slumped a little bit now, a little bit early in the season. Of course, they played some tough hombres. Lincoln not being one of them. Drury could take all 4 of these games. We'll see what happens. Anyway, the Bears in Dallas and Drury in Jefferson City.
And the NCAA men's basketball tournament continues tonight. Last night had some pretty good matchups, didn't we?
This is the round of Sweet 16, and these winners advance to the Elite 8 and then the Final 4. All right, the first games, the Purdue-Texas game, which is played out in California, Purdue and Texas. The Texas Longhorns were a play-in team. They were in that play-in in Dayton, Ohio, and they have won ever since. Well, they did not win last night, but they gave the Purdue Boilermakers all sorts of trouble. Purdue won it 79-77 over Texas. Texas had a chance to win and just couldn't pull it off down the stretch. Purdue, Matt Painter's team, gets into the next round, which will be tomorrow. The first game being played down in Houston, Texas. Iowa defeats Nebraska. This is an Iowa Hawkeyes team that is very, very, very well coached. Ben McCollum, he was a candidate for Bears coach down here, did not get selected. Iowa beats Nebraska 77-71, third time they played this year, and Iowa makes it 2-1 over the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Iowa gets the win, and Illinois-Houston. This is a really interesting game because Illinois and Houston, it's a virtual home game for Houston. They're in Houston. That's where they're playing. It's not on Houston's home court. It's 3 miles away from campus. This is It shouldn't be happening, but it did. And the Illini come away with a win. Now, you mean to tell me that the Houston Cougars playing at home did not get a win out of this, and they're a very good team? No, they did not. Illinois beats them 65-55. You have to understand the Illini. The home court, I don't think, means anything to them because basically the team is foreign players from the European bloc countries. They're big. They're not particularly fast, but they can play. And they know what pressure is, and pressure is not on a basketball court. Illinois gets the win by 10. Now, the final game out in California was Arizona-Arkansas. I thought Arkansas would play pretty well. And I think they did for Arkansas, but you're up against an Arizona team that's number one in America. They're really, really good. 109-88. Arizona beat Arkansas. Now, can Arizona be beaten? Yes, of course. They lost some games down the stretch, lost to Kansas at the Allen Fieldhouse late in the season. So, yeah, they can be beaten. But Arizona-Purdue on Saturday, and getting to the Final Four, I don't know. Purdue's going to have an awfully tough time. And then Iowa-Illinois will be, of course, they've also played this year. They're Big Ten Conference teams. So you have some really great matchups coming up tomorrow and tonight, Mike.
Yeah, we definitely do. I really wish I would have won with Arizona now that I'm seeing how this thing's playing out. But also, all that noise about Houston having home court advantage means absolutely nothing.
I
think that's serendipitous, if you ask me. But what are you going to be watching tonight?
Well, there's two more. Actually, yeah, there are four more games coming up tonight. The Duke and St. John's. This is a throwback to the old days of the NCAA tournament and the NIT, because these are two of the great teams in American basketball history. They collide at 6:10. John Shire is coach at Duke and Rick Pitino, coach for St. John's. Those games are being played in Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Arena. That's the first game at 6:10 Central Time. Second game is Connecticut, Michigan State, and they play at 8:45. Winners, of course, play for the title on Sunday. Then you have games that are going on elsewhere, like in Chicago, Illinois. And the first game there is Michigan versus Alabama. That starts at 6:35. And then Iowa State against Tennessee. That ought to be a dandy. That starts at 9:10. Winners play for the championship, actually for the regional title on Sunday, and a berth in the Final Four. Now, there are women's games. The women's Sweet 16 starts today. And as a matter of fact, Mike, they're all being played today at different locales, Fort Worth and Sacramento. The games in Fort Worth begin at 1:30 this afternoon, and that's for TV purposes. Notre Dame plays Vanderbilt. That's at 1:30. And then the second game at 4 o'clock has North Carolina, the Lady Tar Heels. I don't think they called them the Tar Heels, period, against number one team in America, Connecticut. That will be an interesting game, 4 o'clock, UConn and North Carolina. That's in Fort Worth. Out in Sacramento, California, UCLA, also a number one seed, meets Minnesota in that game at 6:30. And LSU, Kim Mulkey's team, taking on the Duke Lady Blue Devils. That'll be at 8:45 in Sacramento, California. Are you familiar with Kim Mulkey? Mm-hmm. She has the wonderful and somewhat flamboyant dresses that she wears on the court, and a great player in her own right.
And, if the guys can wear suits, they can wear those fancy outfits, too. Hey, I also wanted to make note, my St. Louis Blues are back to 500, my man.
What is this?
What
is going on? They are at even 500, 30 wins, 30 losses, 11 ties. That gives them 9 games to play. Blues won last night in a shootout, 2-1 over the San Jose Sharks. Can they make the playoffs? Mathematically, they can. They can, but they've got to have a lot of help to do it because there are several teams in front of them, and those teams have to lose for the Blues to get there. And the Blues, of course, have to keep on winning. But keeping on winning, hey, they started this streak when they were 9 games under 500, and now they are at 500. That's pretty good for late season.
Absolutely. Like I said, that's all we can ask for. Go Blues, and Ned, have a great weekend.